we're gonna test the most powerful forces in all of Minecraft, like creating a death ray with 100 plus wardens, surviving falling into the void, finding out how big slimes can get, and more. To kick things off, I've trapped 1,000 parrots inside this one block space inside the glass cube. Now they're as cramped as this retention desperate intro, which means that they're pushing against the walls with an extreme amount of force. But watch what happens when we remove this block. 3, 2, 1. It's like a parrot spray can. Did you know parrots can dance when a music disc is played nearby? They'll also try to mimic the sound of nearby mobs. Here, take a listen. It's possible to make player cannons that launch you to extreme elevations, but you have to be in creative mode to survive. Mumbo Jumbo made this insane player cannon that launched him over 33,000 blocks into the air. And as you can see, it actually seemed like he hit some kind of world ceiling. You can also make more powerful survival-friendly player cannons too. Now for this to work, I'm just wearing netherite armor with no blast protection. Let's see how high up we get. But will we survive the fall? Armor doesn't reduce fall damage, but enchantments like feather falling and protection do. You can also use effects like feather falling and resistance. We only have armor, so we should die here. Ha! Psych! You probably know that you can use a boat to negate any fall damage that you might take, but there is a reason you wouldn't see people doing this back in 2012. Back then, even if you were in a boat, you'd still take all the fall damage that you would normally. This was changed in 1.7.2, and since then, there's been hundreds of clips of people doing cool MLG boat tricks. Here's another big boat fact that isn't about a boat, but about a boat-like item not called a bamboo boat, but a bamboo raft. As of the date of this video, rumors have it that the upcoming 1.20 bamboo version of a boat is not really a boat, as it has a completely different texture and item icon. Much more like a raft than a boat. Jesus Christ, that's scary.
Did you know that you can use a boat to create a little picnic set? It'll serve as a food basket. The gate here even kind of looks like a little handle, and the oars are like some kind of utensils. Now, if picnics aren't your thing, you can create a self-driving boat system with this simple mechanism. It's pretty flexible and can be used as part of your other setups, such as storage systems, mob farms, dynamic decorations, and more.
Anyways, let's see how it's possible to survive falling into the void. Here we go. I got full protection armor, lots of food, and we're dead. All right, so it turns out the void ignores armor, resistance, and protection, so I guess that's it. Nah, very funny. Let me show you how I'm actually gonna do this. It's possible to survive both at the top of the world and below the
Death layer,
which is at Y-128, deep into the void. First, surviving the top of the void. It's quite easy, actually. Try dropping a shulker in a boat into the void. When the boat hits the death layer, it'll get destroyed. Instead of dying though, the shulker will fix itself in place just above the death layer. You can then jump down and land on the shulker using a Litra or a potion of slow falling. Now you just need to survive the shulker. You can do this by creating a dispenser at bedrock level that continuously supplies you with food. You can also just use the same dispenser trick to supply you with firework rockets. That way, you can fly around the void indefinitely, as long as you don't run out of fuel. And what about below the
death layer,
where you'll take 8 damage every second? How do you survive there? I'll start by collecting what I need for the experiment. Then, I'll show you right after we make the Great Warden Death Ray. Did you know that if you fight a Vex at the bottom of the world, it might actually fly through the bedrock? Because of that, it's the only mob that will naturally die in the void when playing survival Minecraft. Vex are summoned by evokers using a summoning spell. Evokers also have fang spells, one that causes fangs to shoot up from the ground in a line, or in 2 circles around itself. The least known spell of the evoker is the color conversion spell. This spell will turn a nearby blue sheep into a red sheep. As it's doing it, it'll make a weird sound. Take a listen. The spell is actually a reference to the priest unit from a game called Age of Empires that turns enemy units into friendly ones. And because Microsoft controls copyright for both Age of Empires and Minecraft, Mojang was able to get the actual wololo sound effect from the original. Next experiment. Is it possible to create a Warden Death Ray that will one-shot the Wither? I put 100 Wardens into a cage, and this is probably the highest density of danger I've ever seen in Minecraft. Let's see what they do to an iron golem. Boom. Now will they one-shot a Wither? So it looks like the Wither is being pushed back. Maybe it's only the first few sonic booms that hit. Let's try closing it in. Add another 69 for a total of 169 Wardens. The massive amount of overlapping sonic booms look amazing, and I definitely wouldn't want to raid someone's base if this turret was outside. Fun fact, the sonic boom ability was added as a mechanic to keep players from easily being able to hide from or kill the Warden by staying out of reach. The sonic boom has good range and can actually go through walls. But Mojang doesn't want you to fight the Warden. That's why it doesn't drop anything. Instead, it's best to avoid it and use sound distractions to survive. It is possible to keep the Warden as a pet though, but I would suggest a very thick-walled glass cage. By naming the Warden and running away, you can keep it from burrowing down and disappearing. That way, you two can be long-distance buddies forever. Speaking of disappearing, let's see how we can survive below the
Death layer
of the void. The secret is simple. Turns out, eating enchanted golden apples actually gives you more health than the void will damage. Hopefully you won't die from your stomach exploding, as you'll have to consistently chow down apples each and every second. Sadly, we can't supply ourselves with more apples, unless we can find a way to get apples down here without them respawning. Let me know in the comments if you have any ideas. Here's another thing I happen to know. The enchanted golden apple is actually part of a crafting recipe. Can you guess which one? That's right, you use it to craft the so-called banner pattern thing, which is a banner pattern that displays the old Mojang logo. Cool little Easter egg that commemorates the history of the game's creators. However, the greatest Easter egg of them all when it comes to banners is the—
Did you know that it's possible to make a rarely seen rainbow banner? If you've tried, you might have noticed it's not as easy as one might think. However, these 5 steps will guarantee a good result. It goes pink, orange, yellow, lime, and then light blue. You can also use a banner to create an interactive printer for your office. Just place the banner like so. Make sure it's well lit below the slab, and fill the dispenser here with paper. You could even add custom names to the paper that comes out if you want that extra little bit of detail to amuse your friends that come to visit.
Only slime sizes 1, 2, and 4 spawn naturally, so you can actually create a slime of size 3 that's in between the medium and big slime, which surprised me. But how big can slimes get? Here we go, rapid fire round. Here, you can see a size 5 slime. It's a chonker, but I'm sure it'll seem small in a second. Size 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Killing size 10 will split it into 2 size 5 slimes. Let's go quicker. 15, 20, 25, 30, 35? Okay, this is getting insane. As in, not sane. Let's see how deadly it— Ow. Okay, let's go bigger. 50, 100, 150, 200. Turns out 128 is the largest size possible. This thing is so massive that it's almost impossible to find its hitbox. According to the Minecraft wiki, it should have 16,384 health. It can jump super far and does 128 damage per hit. Are you and I thinking the same thing?
Release the Wardens!
Once the Wardens attack, it quickly becomes clear that they're not going to kill it anytime soon. Or are they? The sonic booms actually manage to launch the slime into the air, and it somehow dies of fall damage. It splits into more, but much smaller slimes. They're still huge, though. More slimes only further anger the Wardens. It becomes more and more chaotic, and then— silence. 2,187 slimes died on this battlefield. Only those experienced with the atrocities of war can begin to imagine the pain, fear, and suffering. Okay, that's it. Now, on the development side of this new mini-boss, the Warden didn't always look like this. It went through multiple iterations before it ended up as this eerie enemy. The original concept was referred to as the Stalker and was a much taller, thinner mob, with a fake glowing item suspended in its stomach.